Hi Scorpio. So I wanted to just explain something real quick before you jump into the reading. I forgot I had done your sign for August, so what happened is you ended up with a bonus reading. And I hope some other people who subscribe to my channel aren't going to be jealous, but right now I don't have time to do 2 readings per month per sign, but you got lucky. So I hope you enjoy the reading. That's why I'm not saying anything when you watch the video about it being a bonus, because I didn't realize I'd already done your sign. But I'm going with the theory that it was meant to be, right? Because if we're truly tuned into our intuition and to divine guidance, then we just go with what feels right. And it felt right to do another reading for you. So enjoy. Well, hello, welcome to Tarot to a T. Today's reading will be for the sign of Scorpio for the month of August 2023. This is the first time to my channel, welcome, and if you're returning, glad to see you. Okay, if you have been with me before, you know that we're about to do a general inquiry, because this would be the monthly reading for your sign. So we're going to open it up with a general inquiry. What message does Scorpio need to hear for August 2023? We are kind of in the middle of the month now, going towards the end, but when you see this reading, that's when you're meant to see it. I truly believe that, and that's my intention today. Also, if you've been with me before, you might notice I'm using 2 decks of cards. I was doing some meditation on my tarot practice, and it just came to me that I should start using 2 decks of cards because I believe it will deliver a more complete reading. But I am having challenges shuffling, so if you see me struggling with it a little bit, I am getting better since I started using it. But if you see me drop the cards, that's what's going on. Still adjusting to that, okay? Okay, we almost got your message out here, Scorpio. And also, using 2 decks of cards I think will be especially helpful since I'm doing personal readings. And information on that could be found in the description box if you're interested, okay? Message for Scorpio, yep. Okay, got those too. Alright, here we go. Jack of clubs. 5 of diamonds, 7 of spades, 3 of spades, and the 7 of diamonds. Wow, okay. So there's an emphasis here, first of all, on pentacles, your finance here. So over here, I'll just say that it looks like some kind of negotiation occurred around money matters, okay? And it had to do with some information that came to light. Maybe this money was previously unknown, like it was meant for you, it was meant to come your way, and it revealed itself in the course of things. You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, like some kind of, I'm hearing like class action settlement, and that's when there's a large group of people involved, right? And then you get a share of that, and maybe it was unbeknownst to you that that was even going to occur, because the 7 of spades is about that hidden truth. With the 5 of diamonds is the negotiation and settlement. So I'm really feeling it's like some kind of legal thing. Could also be like a recall on a vehicle. I'm also picking that up. I don't know. Usually they just want to repair the vehicle, but maybe there was some kind of financial payout, so you could go make the repairs yourself. I mean, they don't usually do that, but who knows? I don't know all of the cases of car recalls or vehicle recalls, but the ones I'm familiar with, they usually want you to take it into the dealership, but I don't think that's exactly what this is about. This is something a little bit different than that. Also, you have the Seven of Diamonds, so it was substantial enough that you need to be careful with how you spend it. This is just a kind of a warning against taking financial risks in general, or gambles. And it doesn't mean literally gambling, sitting at a casino somewhere gambling, although it could include that. It's also, if something doesn't sound real secure and like a sure thing, that would be a financial risk, right? So it could be really anything under the sun. You do have a little bit of stress and worry going on around possibly this or something else. We will keep going in the reading and see something else comes out, but you're stressed out about something. Jack of Clubs. Now this is fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. You could be dealing with a younger fire sign or someone that you perceive who is less experienced in some way. Maybe there is a little hint of maybe they're less mature. They might have a very young energy about them, like young and spontaneous and what is that word? Compulsive, like they don't think things through. That kind of is a sign. It can be a sign of immaturity. I don't like to just blatantly say, oh yeah, they're immature. I think there's going to be more to it, because it doesn't mean they're immature in all ways, but maybe they have this streak to be compulsive. For example, I don't think this is you, but also this is a support figure of some sort, somebody who can be supportive to you, probably with their time or energy as an emotional support, for example. Let's see what else you got going, Scorpio. We have the Three of Hearts, Two of Diamonds, Nine of Clubs, and wow, Queen of Diamonds. You got the Five of Diamonds again. Look at that. Now with that Queen of Diamonds, Five of Diamonds, I'll go ahead and address this. The Queen of Diamonds is an earth energy. That'd be Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. Somebody who's very practical with their money. You might have somebody around you who's playing that role, and they're kind of involved with this settlement. In other words, let's say it's a spouse. Maybe you are married, or if you're not married, committed to a earth sign. And they also have a say in how these, I'm picking up like how the money is used, and probably not used, more like saved or invested in something. Because you have that very strong practical side with the Queen of Diamonds. You see my point? And that would actually go kind of in tune with this Seven of Diamonds about, no, you don't want to gamble or take any risks. And you might have somebody around you who's like hyper vigilant about making a mistake like that. That's what I'm picking up. I don't know why, but I feel like there's an earth sign around you. It could be a parent. It could be somebody just older than you that kind of looks after you. It could be an older sibling. But things are very balanced for you financially, especially if you're in a relationship. This is about balance and harmony in the finance arena. And so you have nothing to worry about. So it's not like you were not doing well before and this little windfall came along and that's why you need to save it. No, it's not quite that. It's just be careful, especially in this economic climate that we're in now, in this world. Things are so topsy-turvy and uncertain, aren't they? And you also have a little bit of indecision that's emotionally affecting you. I do see this kind of tied in with the Three of Spades. Three of Spades, the stress and worry. Well, this is an emotional decision. I think this is actually tied in together. The stress and worry is emotional for sure, right? So perhaps you are emotionally trying to sort out, I'm hearing sort out how to treat this situation, especially with this Queen of Diamonds, which could be a strong spousal figure. And it doesn't have to be female. Do want to mention that. But both threes denote you're being pulled in a couple different directions, therefore it's causing stress and it's causing indecision. And you also have the Nine of Clubs. Nine of Clubs is actually very nice. This is a completion, kind of a generic kind of completion, but there's also satisfaction kind of wrapped up in it. There's something you've achieved here. Or at least you're feeling a sense of achievement. And I don't know why I'm hearing balance. Anyway, let's go ahead and pull more cards for you, Scorpio. You got the Five of Hearts. Some kind of separation. So maybe this windfall had to do with separating from a workplace or separating from a spouse. Maybe you actually broke up with that earth sign. I'm getting another storyline here. Yeah, it didn't strike me as relationship at first. That's why it took me aback for a second to when this Five of Hearts appeared. But there's some kind of physical separation denoted with that, okay? Let's go ahead and keep going. Oh. I mean, just as a scenario, I'll stop for a second. This Five of Diamonds here and the information that has come to light. Maybe you were due some kind of financial settlement that you weren't expecting. Therefore, it was a hidden piece of information. And like I said, it could have been this earth sign you were involved with. And they could have been the breadwinner of the family. It doesn't matter if they're male or female. Roles are reversed these days. So we're not looking at that. It's just like they're the ones that had the practical head on their shoulders around money, for example. And these two guys wanted to come out at the same time, so I am going with it. Of course, we never resist, right? The Ace of Hearts and the Jack of Hearts. Very interesting. The Ace of Hearts is about following your heart, following your instincts here, your passion in some sense. It's a new start, and the Jack of Hearts is about having your heart open. You are on some kind of new start. Especially with all these changes going on, my goodness. Yeah, and you're sitting pretty financially, which is very good if you have to start over, like your living situation, for example. It could involve that. Or if it is a job. Again, there's some kind of new start here. You are determined to go in a direction that really satisfies you and fulfills you in some way, and that's very good to see. And then we have the colorized Joker, which tells me things are very up in the air. At least that's how you are feeling around this time. Yeah, and I would agree. Especially on new starts, I think we always have a sense of things being up in the air. This is also the Magician card in traditional tarot. So the way I perceive the Magician card, it's either, it could be a couple of things. That you're kind of throwing it to the universe and saying, put me on the path that will be for my highest good. You know what I'm saying? In other words, you're casting your fate to the universe and you're trusting that you're going to be led in the right direction, especially with that new start. That was interesting that that all just came out, because normally I would say this could also be you asking the universe, the divine forces, whatever, however you would categorize them, however they appear to you, for their help. Yes, it's kind of like, you know, a prayer. Could be a prayer, could be a meditation, could just be a silent request that you make from time to time. You're not necessarily on your knees praying, but that you really want divine intervention in this case to help you land on your feet in some way. I'm hearing land on your feet. You are on your feet financially, so it must be some other sense. Perhaps you have to move, because we did have the Five of Hearts, and that is about physical separation. Maybe you have to move. And maybe that's why, and you don't have a clue to where to go or where you want to go. More like where you want to go. And maybe you're asking for that sign. Yeah. Yeah, I kind of went through some of that myself recently. Three of Clubs. Look at all the threes. We have another three coming out here telling me that you are in some kind of struggle or fight. Not necessarily with a person. Maybe you're struggling against going with the flow. This is why you have the Jack of Hearts reminding you, on this new start, you need to keep your heart open. You need to be a little bit vulnerable. See what else we can pull out here. And maybe you're struggling because things are up in the air and it's not settled. So there's a sense of insecurity, or not being secure, not insecure like you're not a secure, confident person, but, you know, insecurity in the other sense. Again, you have the Seven of Diamonds. Look at this. You're not feeling that confident about this financial gain. For some reason, it's not sitting with you well. There's another warning about gambling. Or maybe, oh, I just got stopped mid-sentence. Maybe you're headed on, you're headed on a course of making a risky decision around money. Maybe you're thinking about buying a place. Maybe you're thinking about, I don't know, going on an extravagant vacation. You're being warned. I heard tested, but you're being warned. I don't know why tested would come out. Maybe this temptation with these 2 5 of Diamonds and these negotiations and settlements, which you probably weren't expecting, let's say, a couple months ago or earlier this year, you're being tested. So maybe speaking to a Scorpio who has a leaning towards spending money in a way that's not healthy for them, or setting themselves up in a smart way for the future. Catch my drift? I'm not saying you're an overspender, but since it's in your lap, there's a test here. Gosh, like I said, there's no card that would come out and talk about test, except it's just popping into my intuition like crazy. That you're being tested to see if you make the right decision. The right decision is to avoid those financial risks. Any more cards here to tell me what's going on with Scorpio? Yep, here's the breakup card. So we had the separation card earlier and the breakup. Lots of changes going on for you. Wow. 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 I don't have much else to say, except that's the final confirmation for me. I think this is about a relationship. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and go look, or go ask for advice for Scorpio, please, for mid-August 2023. And I didn't mention this earlier, but this general reading, if it doesn't apply to you, you do not have to make it fit your situation. Matter of fact, you shouldn't. You're welcome to turn off the video if you haven't already, and join me for the next one, okay? If this is not jiving with you. Okay, we have the Queen of Spades. We have, okay, we have the Seven of Clubs, Ace of Diamonds. Wow, we have all these doubles. We have the Ten of Hearts and the Two of Spades. Whoa. That's going to be interesting to explain. Too many cards there. Start over, please. Ace of Hearts, I like that. Okay, first thing I see here. This is air energy, Libra, Gemini, or Aquarius, but I don't think we're looking at a Libra. I mean, we could be. This is your advice. I think your advice is to take on the energy of this air sign. Well, you might have air in your chart, of course. This air sign has a little bit of power and authority, but the most prominent feature about them is they keep to themselves. They're very reserved. And when I see this in advice, if you've been with me before, you've heard me say this, I think you're being advised to kind of go into hermit mode. It doesn't mean keep your mouth shut, but it actually does in some ways. It's just like observe, let things go, let things happen, take them in, meditate on things, contemplate on things, but don't necessarily share all your feelings right now. Okay? I always see that as a very strong indication of just needing to keep to yourself a little bit. Hermit mode. 7 of clubs, Ace of diamonds. You're feeling a little bit trapped by this whole this money thing. It's bugging me because you have balance in your money, but you're also on a new start to increase your income in some way, and it's making you feel trapped. That's the 7 of clubs. Like, if you haven't exited a relationship, but I think you have, you have somebody over here. This Queen of Diamonds may not have been the ex. This may be somebody else who's putting pressure on you, like an overbearing parent or something. Like the wealthy parent who thinks you should succeed just as much as they have, and so they have these expectations. That's what this kind of smacks of. You're feeling trapped by this new start and increasing your income in some way and starting on some kind of new adventure. Now that you are, I do think you exited a relationship. Wow. So much going on for you, especially with this. So this is kind of opposite ends of the spectrums. 10 of Hearts, it's your greatest happiness and success and I almost said prosperity. It's not about prosperity. It's more about the happiness element of it. I mean, prosperity could be involved, but it's your ultimate happiness. Like, you've reached the best life that you could possibly have dreamed of, but the 2 of Spades is some kind of final split. I think the message here is whoever you split up with, Scorpio, this getting away from them is going to lead to your ultimate happiness. If you're not already feeling like you're there, because it doesn't always feel that way, right? Even if you hated their guts and you were just so over it, right? It all hinges on this split. There's no reconciliation with the 2 of Spades. It's usually split between people, I'll be honest. Yeah, it's a total disconnect. It's the opposite. It's the opposite of connection. It's disharmony, disconnection. And I see that being intertwined with this ultimate happiness. And that 10 is also indicating the end of a cycle. It's like you had to go through these major changes. I mean, my God, I'm a Leo, and I had a lot of things happen since July. Lots of things. And this almost tops what I went through. And I feel for you. I really do. Because I know I've had a heck of a time. I've also felt very strong. But at the same time, I had to make some very hard decisions. I had to do some things, I think, that really even surprised myself. And you might be feeling the same way. That's why I'm talking about myself. This is your reading, Scorpio, not mine. Okay. 8 of Hearts. So, going down this path, ultimately you're going to end up, well, we're still in advice. I'm not going to say you're going to end up here, but you are in a sense. It's also the advice to get out and socialize, have fun, celebrate. That's what the 8 of Hearts talks about. Going out, you're spending time with family and friends. Not necessarily strangers, not going to places to pick people up necessarily, but you can if that's your cup of tea. There's also a strong indication with the 8 of Hearts about meeting somebody special along the way. At least there's the potential for it. I'm not saying it's going to happen, tonight when you go out or next week, but there's the potential there to, in other words, exercise this energy of socialization, emphasized here in August. Get out there. But also stay in hermit mode. So that might be a little tricky for you, but I think if you just don't drag whatever you've been going through out into these social situations, I think you'll be fine. Because again, it's kind of like shutting your mouth and just, not saying anything. But this is all really your personal business. This is your internal process that you're going on. You don't need you don't need to broadcast it necessarily for the, and I feeling like it wouldn't be helpful. That's why the Hermit card, the Hermit energy is being emphasized. Okay. More cards of advice for Scorpio, please. Four diamonds. Yes, the four corners of your foundation, your home, your lifestyle, very well being held up here. It's almost like with the Seven of Clubs, Ace of Diamonds dynamic, where you're feeling that pressure to succeed more. You're already in a very nice place. Maybe you don't want to be that ambitious. I'm picking up that could be the case here. This is the Windfall card. So this negotiation and settlement, yeah, this puts you in a very, very sweet situation financially. Or at least you're headed that way. If you don't spend it. don't make those risky investments. Yeah, stay away from the risks and the gambling. Because, again, your advice is saying you are in a very good position here. And the Jack of Diamonds, yeah, you know, I could have foreseen this would come out. This is, again, Earth energy, Virgo, Capricorn, or Taurus. But I also see it as you being in a very green, new financial situation. And I think you would agree. Because that's what the Jack energy about. It's younger, less experienced than the Queen and the King. Any more cards of advice, please? Oh. Too many there. Especially when I have half the decks in there. Okay. And this completion. Yeah, so whatever transpired, it's behind you. This is a confirmation that something has wrapped up. It's not the major cycle, but it's pretty close to it. And it was very difficult. Nine of Spades energy tells me this was more difficult than perhaps you're even letting on, because I honestly didn't see too much emotion in here, except I did see indecision around some emotional decision perhaps. We saw the stress card, so I take that back. I think you did show emotion, but it's coming out in the form of stress and struggle. We have the Three of Clubs, remember? And some kind of emotional indecision, maybe about exactly how to feel about everything. My goodness, I mean, there's so much that's happened. Jack of Clubs, I think you had this earlier. I want to check. Yep, it's right under here. Is there a younger friend around you? Again, this would be fire sign energy. This would be somebody to gain support from. I think they're just younger. They're not necessarily immature, right? A young friend, of somebody who's very generous and able to support you emotionally. Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries. Yeah, I'm picking up that's that person because it came out twice. Yep. So whoever fits that bill, I would utilize their energy right now. Maybe they can also socialize with you, because that would help get you into this mode, right? Okay, I'm going to wrap it up there. I pulled a lot of cards for you. Woo! I know they're going off the frame of the camera. I apologize for that. I try not to do that. Again, the emphasis here is to kind of stay low-key. Kind of the hermit mode, the meditation, the contemplation, and to get out there and socialize. Allow this energy to come into your life. If you have opportunities to get out and mingle, do them. But this breakup is what's here to recognize is this breakup was necessary for this Ten of Hearts, and you really want the Ten of Hearts. Everybody wants the Ten of Hearts. It's feeling like, because you could almost interpret this as you are separated now from that ultimate happiness, but I don't think that's the way it's meant to be interpreted in the advice. It's just like that was what was keeping you from your ultimate happiness, you see. And you do have this financial pressure here. Even though you're sitting pretty financially, I still think it's all very new to you. I can't give you any solid advice on that. Maybe your next reading. If I had the time, I would almost do a extended on this. This would be the perfect candidate as far as an extended reading. I don't have time for extended readings right now, but they are coming back. Hey Scorpio, my battery ran out. When I go over 30 minutes, I have issues with that. So, as I was saying, I'm not going to do the extended on this, but you are welcome, and I do hope you come back next, probably next month for your next reading to see if this picks up where we left off. Anyway, I don't have much more else to say. I've said enough. I hope you gained some insight into this situation and you enjoyed it. And if you wouldn't mind, please give me a big like, thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. It helps us support the channel that way. Hang in there. This was a heavy reading, if I didn't already express that. Hang in there with your situation, and I will see you again soon. Take care.